Hey, what's up? Is this Dave?
What's happening?
Thank you so much for joining us. Can you do me a quick favor and just check your level real quick so I can make sure I got you?
Yeah, usually when I do interviews, I just... No, I'm kidding.
It's perfect. So, is there any truth to this? I heard a rumor this morning that occasionally you get up and perform at, I won't give away the name of the place, a pizza place in Moore Park. Is this or?
Oh yeah, but dude, they shut it down, man. It's such a bummer. Yeah, so Taylor has this. Our drummer Taylor, he had this side project called Chevy Metal for a long time. Where when the Foo Fighters weren't touring, he wanted to keep playing just to stay in shape. So he started this cover band that would do like old Sabbath and old Deep Purple and ZZ Top and Halen and stuff like that. So he would play like, it was just he and a couple of his friends. They'd play like Mexican restaurants and pizza restaurants and it's kind of anywhere, you know. And they sort of like got a following because they're great, you know. Taylor sings and plays drums, and if anyone's ever heard him sing, he's got a great voice, you know.
Oh yeah, no, the Coattail Riders.
Then it turned into the Coattail Riders, and then it was Birds of Satan. I don't know what he's calling it now, but he's so talented, man, and it's like, I had to, like, beg him to be in the band. I'm like, please be in Chevy Metal. Come on, dude, let me be in Chevy Metal.
So, all right, but besides playing at a pizza place in Moore Park, album tour, documentary movie, band around the documentary movie, some shows around the documentary movie with the band, and then a documentary series with an accompanying album, or is it an album with an accompanying documentary series? Apparently, you know what you're going to do for the next album as well. Either way, the concept of you taking a break seems borderline impossible. What, besides the fresh pots, keeps you going?
Believe me, I just had this conversation with my wife. No, I mean, you know, look, I have all these great opportunities, and I have the resource to do a lot of these amazing things. Like, I have the opportunity and resource to walk into, like, HBO and say, hi, my name's Dave, and I have this idea, and they'll actually listen, you know? Or I could send an email to, like, Dolly Parton and say, hi, my name's Dave, I'd like to interview you, and she might actually do it. And so I have my foot in the door for a lot of these great opportunities, and it's like, well, why not? You know, I mean, I balance my time as much as I can. It's like when I'm home, dude, I'm like in the minivan, packing lunches, getting the kids to school, doing my thing. But then when it comes time to work, it's like, I'm just going to go 110. Like, I'm just going to do it because I can do it now. And we're only on this planet for a short amount of time, so you got to take advantage of every single opportunity. And I just feel like, okay, I mean, every single day I wake up with another crazy ass idea, and I'll tell someone I work with, like, hey, I have this stupid idea, and then within 3 months they're like, remember that idea? Okay, we're doing it. And I'm just like, oh God, really?
Do you ever feel like you're going to run out of inspiration? Like, I was wondering, is it like that Steve Miller thing where he went into the studio, he's like, I don't know when I'm going to have this many ideas again. I'm making 2 albums back to back.
Wow. I mean, no, not at all. Because I also have so many options. Like, if I want to play a show with Foo Fighters, I can go out and stand in front of the stage with a guitar and do that. If someone asks me to come play drums with them, I can go out and I can do something like that. If someone approaches me and asks me to do a documentary, I can go do that. And so I have all these different outlets, and I almost feel like that then that's not it. Like, there's going to be more, there's going to be something else that at some point I'm going to get my hooks, or it's going to get its hooks into me. And I'm like, okay, cool, now I can do that, too. Because every single thing I do, I did not take lessons to do. And this is a lesson that I think everyone should learn, is that if you're, like, passionate and focused and driven, and there's something that you don't know how to do, just do it. Like, don't even do it the way you would do it. If you can if there's some way you can pull something, you want to be like an arc welder, just figure it out, you know what I mean? Because that's how people do things differently. And so that's the way I feel. Like, okay, at some point, I might start sculpting. Who cares? Whatever. I'm going to build lamps. How about that?
Your kids are going to grow up with an incredible sense of possibility just being around this.
Oh, they're terrified of me. They're like, oh no, there goes Daddy. I mean, I try to tell them that. You know, even musically, it's so funny. My daughter, she was trying to learn how to play the flute, and she was just totally discouraged because it's hard, dude. The flute, of all instruments, a wind instrument, the flute is not easy, and she wasn't even putting it together in school. And so I get an email from her teacher, like, you need to talk to Violet. She's not putting her flute together in class. So I looked at her and I said, hey, Boo, I got an email from your teacher. It says you're not putting your flute together. She goes, I know, I'm just not good at it. And I said, well, look, you have 2 options. You can either practice really hard and become a really great flautist like your grandpa, my dad.
Yeah.
Or don't play the flute. Why do you want to, what's up with the flute? And then I said, or don't be a musician. You don't want to be a musician? You don't have to be a musician. So she went to school the next day, and I was like, my dad said I don't have to play music. They're like, okay.
We were supposed to talk about the TV show and the album, and I think we just wound up getting life lessons from Dave Grohl, which is probably just as valuable.
That's Tony Robbins' business right there. Take that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
smoke it.
Yeah, no, you could do this, then on to motivational speaking. Your dad, who was a flautist, I remember you saying once that even when Nirvana was taken off, he said to you, he's like, this isn't gonna last. You know,
I mean, believe me, man, he's like, my dad was a badass and a super smart dude and a wicked musician with like perfect pitch. So he didn't take any of this lightly, you know, and he actually, one of his friends that he grew up with, was a famous drummer in Herb Alpert's Tijuana Brass.
Amazing.
And when his friend passed away, he kind of like had nothing. He spent all his money, and so he kind of blew it. And so when Nirvana became popular, my dad was like, dude, look, listen, this is what happened to my friend. You know this ain't going to last. You better treat every single check like it's your last one, and don't mess around. I was like, okay. And I honestly did. Like, to this day, I still feel that way. I feel like, okay, well, this is going to be the last record, and this is going to be the last check.
Do you think that's maybe why you just say yes to everything, because you don't know when the work's not going to be there, and you have that instilled in you?
I got to be honest. Also, like, my mother was a public school teacher, so I watched her wake up at, like, 5:30 every morning for 35 years to raise two kids on a public school teacher salary. Mm-hmm. So when you have a parent that works that hard, you work your ass off, too. There was no being lazy in my house.
I could absolutely.
I was a pothead, but I was at least working at the furniture warehouse. You know what I mean?
Right. No. At what point did your dad say to you, "You might have something here"?
It kind of came a little bit later. Like, I think especially it actually kind of came a little bit earlier when he would come out and see the bands I was in before I was in Nirvana. I was just pulverizing the drums. I was just like a cartoon character, just going bananas. And I think he recognized, because he was also a jazz dude, I think he recognized like the passion and the self-expression in that. He knew that I had there was some fire in there somewhere. Yeah. That never translates into, a career, and it wasn't ever going to. But I think that he knew, like, all right, well, that kid's, he's got something. He's out of his mind. Wow. Which I think a lot of his heroes were, too,
Right, sure, absolutely. Everything's quick and everything is disposable at the moment. And you've kind of curated a musical history of America with Sonic Highways. Was part of that wanting to preserve what you felt was at risk of getting lost?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you inspire people. Because when people are inspired, they actually, follow dreams, So, there's so much music, and it might seem quick, and it might seem disposable, and the way, the devices, and the delivery, and the internet, and downloading, all that stuff, none of that matters. The most important thing is that the person is inspired. Like, when someone falls in love with a song or a band, you get this new energy in life, which will make you feel better about everything. Now I'm going to go buy another record. Now I'm going to start a band. And so that was kind of the intention. The intention was to inspire especially the next generation of musicians, so they can see that everybody, all of the people in this series, started with absolutely nothing and created legacies. And that's how it works. Don't say no. Don't listen to anybody. Don't take lessons. Just do what you do the way you think it should be done, and you can become Chuck D or Buddy Guy or Dolly Parton or Joan Jett or whatever. All of these parallels are there. You just have to put yourself on the line, go out on a limb.
Well, thank you I'm a huge fan of yours, not just as a musician, but also as a human being. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, man. I'll see you down there.
Take it easy. Thanks a lot.